All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television program in the history of the entire universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown. All three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today we're going to be reviewing Morning Star by Pierce Brown, book number 3 in the Red Rising trilogy. I've got the entire trilogy. Let's pan through my library here. Got my entire trilogy. Let's see, up on... I got a bunch of Pierce Brown books up there by my Christopher Rocchio books and my Expanse books. Anyway, I've got the whole series. We're to book number 3 out of 8 or something like that. Morning Star. Let's talk about the cover first, because you know I love graphic design and cover illustration. I think this one is great. It's very sharp, very colorful. It matches the other books that are on the shelf, so great job. One other thing I will mention about this book, unique to me, is that Tim Gerard Reynolds is the voice narrator of the Pierce Brown novels on Audible.com. Tim Gerard Reynolds is also the voice narrator of my books. So if you've ever listened to these on Audible.com and you like the narration and the narrator, same guy does my books. So there you have it. Anyway, so also in this book, you know, we talked about the cover. There's also a some maps of our solar system, if you didn't know what that looked like. There's a character list here too somewhere. The Dramatis Personae, as they call it. I don't know how to pronounce any of that. I think it's Latin. Dramatis Personae. Dramatis Personae. That sounds right. Dramatis Personae. Or Dramatis Personae. Anyway, it's a list of characters, folks. So, what is the Red Rising trilogy about, basically? Well, in our list of characters, most of the names are very Romanesque, which would make sense that it's Latin, that he put Latin there. The Dramatis Personae is Latin, because that's, and I think Latin is Roman. I no fucking idea. Anyway, all of our characters have kind of Romanesque names. There's like I said, there's a solar system map. So this space opera. This is a space opera series. Starships, starfighters, things like that. Takes place in our own solar system. Our main character is Darrow. He's a red. That's why it's the Red Rising trilogy. So no, the Reds. There's a caste system, and there's also a map of the caste system that I didn't show you, like all the different types of people. Live in I think that's in book 1 though, where we get the caste system map. Yeah. So in book 1, there's a map of the caste system where we've got all these different colors: red, blue, green, gold, white, black, all this stuff. The red people, the people that live in the lower class of society, are called Reds. They are laborers. It's kind of like got this Hunger Games feel to it at the beginning. The Darrow is one of these laborers. He's a miner. He works in the mines. And the inciting incident in book 1 that gets things started, this is not a spoiler, but the inciting incident within the first couple chapters is his wife is killed. He's a very young guy. He's a teenager, but he's still married. But his wife is killed for political reasons, and that's the inciting incident of the whole story. And this is when Darrow goes on his revenge tour. He wants to make sure that the people that are responsible for his wife's death, get their just desserts. And he joins a group called the Sons of Ares. They decide that he can infiltrate the enemy. The enemy are the Golds. The Golds are the color caste that is up at the top. They are the aristocracy. They are the billionaires. And he is going to, they're the people that lead the armies, the people that run the worlds and the planets. They are the Golds. He's still measly red, but he's kind of disguised or transformed, as they say, into a Gold so he can join their caste system and work from within to exact his revenge. Dun dun dun. And then, in the course of the journey, he meets Nero Augustus, the governor of Mars. He gets to learn skills as a warrior, skills he trains as a starship captain. And they go through a slew of adventures and duels and betrayals in the first two books, yada, yada, yada. Now, in book 3, we get to it's still told through Darrow's point of view. By the way, maybe I didn't mention that. They're all told through the first person of Darrow, all these books. He wakes up with tubes in his body. I've experienced that. It's no fun. He's a thin skeletal of what he used to be. I used to be 260 pounds. Now I'm 180. I know what it's like to go from big to skeletal. And he's kind of tortured for reasons that I won't mention because it'll be spoilery for the end of books 2. But anyway, questions in this book are: will he fight again? Will he return to his own home? To the mine that he began this adventure in? Will he lead a rebellion of the Reds against the Golds? It's like, is the jig up? Do people know who he is? Do they know that he's been living incognito? And he is he going to lead a rebellion of the Reds versus the Golds? And then we've got all the characters. I can't, in a third book of a trilogy, it's like really hard to say a whole lot about it without spoiling. So, the characters that are, good, the good characters, the evil ones, the villains. I mean, we've got Asia is returned, Mustang, the Jackal, Roke, Octavia, Andrus, Virginia, Ragnar, Dance, all of these characters, which have really good names. I like the way he names the characters. I said they were Romanesque. None of those seemed Romanesque. But most things in here are listed. Anyway, all the heroes and villains are here. This is a book about devotion, honor, vengeance, on both sides. As everyone's hungry for victory in this, the good guys, the bad guys. Can Darrow inspire those shackled in the chains of darkness to break through that and, defend themselves, live for themselves? It's kind of like, I would mix this is like the Hunger Games and Star Wars kind of combined, the whole trilogy. People are fighting, fight their cruel masters that sort of manipulate them into situations that they don't want to be in. It's boils down to kind of like a touching, heartrending space opera in the end, but there's 4 more books coming, so I don't know where that's going to go, but we'll see. I mean, I liked this book quite a bit. I got it sitting up there next to my Christopher Rocchio books and my Expanse novels, and I think those 2 series are better than this one, just slightly. Christopher Rocchio's out there in a league of his own at this point, but I did like this enough that it was engaging. It kept I would give this book, and I can't remember what I scored Red Rising or Golden Sun, was it? Probably around the 8 to 8.5 area. And I would say that I liked, gosh, I should have looked and see what I ranked those, because I might rank this higher than it deserves. I would say about maybe a 7, an 8. We'll give it an 8. We'll give it an 8 out of 10 for what is this? Morning Star, Pierce Brown. Yes, got it. It's been about it's been about 4 years since I read the last one. So anyway, it took me a minute to get back into the flow of these. But anyway, decent writing style. Nothing prose wise. There's nothing that's gonna blow you away. It just did a great story. That's a well told story. And there you go.